Everyone tells you to prepare for the real world, but nobody tells you what it actually feels like. I still remember when I finished high school, I had great expectations of the real world out there. I thought life would feel like the movies I grew up watching, but as a student, the reality of life confused me. And somewhere along the way, I started wondering, is this really what life is supposed to be? I remember one day coming back home after another disappointing day. I just sat there replaying every mistake in my head, and I was wondering if I was the problem or if this was what adulthood felt like. But here's what took me years to understand. Sometimes the greatest struggles of adulthood didn't start in adulthood. They started years earlier. Think about childhood. Our parents taught us how to speak, and they shaped us how we saw ourselves. Before we even learned about the world, we started learning what love, failure, and success meant. Now suppose if you grew up in a home where mistakes were met with criticism, you may have learned that failure makes you less valuable. If love was only shown when you achieved something, you may have started believing that your worth has to be earned. If emotions were ignored, you may have learned to hide your pain instead of expressing it. No one had to say these things out loud. Children learn by watching, and because they don't know how the world works, they assume what happens at home is simply how life is. The problem is, we grow up, but the emotional language we learned as children often stays with us for life. That's why some adults never ask for help, even when they're overwhelmed. Some become perfectionists, believing one mistake means they are a failure. Some are always busy because slowing down makes them feel unworthy. Not because they are broken, but because they are still speaking a language they learned years ago. Now, this doesn't mean we should spend our lives blaming our parents. Every parent passes on what they know, just as they inherited from the people who raised them. Blaming doesn't change the future. Awareness does. Because once we realize that some of our beliefs were learned, we also realize something incredible. What is learned can be unlearned. We can learn that love doesn't have to be earned, that making mistakes doesn't make you a failure, that asking for help is not weakness, and that your value isn't measured by your productivity. Of course, changing these beliefs won't happen overnight. We will stumble, we will forget, we will go back to old habits, but over time, we will begin to speak to ourselves differently. We will respond to life differently, and eventually, we will become someone who isn't controlled by the emotional language of the past. Our childhood may have written the first chapter of our story, but we still get to write the rest.